Ay, Corona. I wasn't going to talk about this, but I am, so I guess there was no point in pre-justifying it. Coronavirus is a pandemic that is sweeping the globe. It is rapidly expanding, evolving, and infecting a lot of people. And those people are having a real bad time, especially the ones it kills. Now, the reason it might be pertinent to not touch this subject, especially for someone who doesn't do a ton of research, is because there is a huge, giant wealth of information circulating about this virus, and to its credit, some of it is even true. But just like how the planet has become a breeding ground for this contagion, this subject is a breeding ground for the equally destructive contagion of human thought, and I'm going to spend the next several minutes infecting your brains with mine. To start, I feel like it is important to say right out of the gate that the coronavirus is not a big deal. People are dying. It's spreading very fast. Not a lot of people can even get tested yet. It can leave lasting health defects even if it doesn't kill you. And if you are old, anything you touch or any person you meet could potentially end your life. Being old has never seemed so scary. There are grocery stores dedicating their first hour of business each day to senior citizens only, just so they can buy the essentials they need without weaving through crowds of literal disease. It's a pestilence minefield out there. One false step and you're in the ground, and your family's gonna see your funeral through a Skype call out of fear of your corpse still harboring the invisible plague. In Italy, where the virus has hit exceptionally hard, there was talk of resources being so thin and unavailable that they would straight up have to stop treating people who were 80 and over to allocate resources to younger, more savable victims if things didn't get better. Leaving the old to die. Usually, when we do that, it's more discreet, like by sending them to a nursing home or letting them keep their driver's license. But this shit's direct and out of pocket. Like, governments usually aren't put in a position where they have to knowingly choose which human lives must be sacrificed for the gain of others. Alright, you got me. But this is like super on the nose and it makes me uncomfortable. The least you can do is scapegoat them and pretend it's for a good cause. Like make up a rumor about how all the old people in Italy are responsible for every time your spaghetti noodles come out too watery. Then we'll be like, oh yeah, kill them, burn the bodies. I don't want their Mamma Mia voodoo affecting my capellini from the afterlife. Bury them in a mass grave and pour salt around the perimeter. Keep that shit contained. There was a viral video of Italians all standing on their roofs and balconies during the self-quarantine and singing together. Even amidst their whole country falling into a poison pool, they were singing with a smile. It reminded me of the movie Life is Beautiful, when the Jewish Italian Guido puts on a playful act for his hidden son, even as he's being marched off by Nazis to be executed during the Holocaust. A bleak sort of optimism that's truly powerful to witness. I don't think that would work as well in America. If you tried to film a viral video like that here, it would just be a bunch of garbled gangsta rap and Ariana Grande with one guy singing a fish song at the top of his lungs. I just don't think I'd be as inspired by a whole neighborhood going, you a stupid how, you a stupid how. Throwback. I don't pay attention to music anymore, not that I ever did. But the coronavirus is serious business. Schools are shut down, restaurants and bars are shut down, malls look like they might be closing, groups of 10 or more people are very discouraged. They closed Disneyland, you guys. The happiest place on earth started accidentally handing out express passes to the kingdom of Corona, and people were like, yeah, we probably shouldn't let people travel from all over the world to congregate by the hundreds of thousands in one location. Plus, it's no fun seeing Mickey and Minnie Mouse when they're doubled over coughing and sputtering. One attitude that's cropped up that I've seen in response to these circumstances is the idea that we shouldn't let this virus stop us from living. Like, fuck social distancing, screw self-quarantine. We're Americans, goddammit. If we want to go out there and become a carrier for a debilitating virus and then spread it to all our friends and random strangers and kill our grandparents and other people's grandparents, then that is our God-given right. The only issue with that is that I have a friend who is immunocompromised but still has to work out of necessity, and this attitude will literally kill her dead. Like, it will make her no longer be alive if she runs into some fucking idiot getting his pandemic party on with no concern for anyone else. But other than that, hell yeah, bro, congregate. Live it up, homie. You know what's cooler than being healthy? Being a walking petri dish for disgusting deadly germs, you filthy sewer rat mosquito of a human being. You and your ilk will collectively extend the effects of this virus for months, and the nation will be oh so proud of you. There was a tweet that went viral because someone was tweeting about how we need to self-quarantine, and the dumbest bitch I ever saw replied to it like, I just went to a crowded Red Robin and I'm 30. It was delicious, and I took my sweet time eating my meal because this is America, and I'll do what I want. What most dismayed me about that tweet, however, was that everyone who was dunking on her felt the need to bring Red Robin into it, and you all need to lay off Red Robin. That place is amazing. I've eaten there for 20 years. Their clucks and fries are unmatched. They have the best chicken strips I ever tasted or will ever taste. And yeah, I've been to Popeyes and any other bullshit thing you might try to throw at me. You might think of them as a kid's restaurant, but they are a family restaurant, and one with cheap alcohol, no less. That's what they mean by family. You could bring your kids for the malts and your uncle for the booze. I love Red Robin, and when this pandemic ceases, they're going to be the first place I return to, so I can probably have my food cooked by the last remaining untested COVID-19 carrier who will then pass it to my ignorant self, and we can start this whole process over again. Today is Monday when I'm typing this, not when I'm saying it out loud into a microphone, and not when you're watching it, obviously, and the US just surpassed 4,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus. 3 days ago, there were 2,000. We are rising exponentially, and that's even still without widespread testing, which we're still in the infant stages of, so the number is really much higher already. That's why social distancing and self-quarantining are important. That's why everything is shutting down, and that's why it's not just the fucking flu. That's also why it really doesn't matter what you call it. When the virus was first taking shape, it was called the Wuhan virus because it originated in Wuhan, China. China has now begun a massive propaganda campaign trying to say that it started here in America and we brought it there, but they're just trying to cover up for their massive governmental failures that led to this global disaster in the first place. They've even started taking advantage of a contingent of our media that's begun rallying around the idea that calling the virus the Wuhan virus or the Chinese virus is racist. Like, dude, now? Is now really the time for that shit? But if you identify the virus by where it originated, you are stigmatizing people who are associated with the area where it originated. Are we? If a pandemic started in Augusta, Maine, and the 95% white population of Augusta started getting mad at people calling it the Augusta virus, you would laugh them right out of the town hall meeting. Assuming people from Wuhan are even upset at the designation, which I doubt, because the first people to cry racism in every situation are white progressives with zero exceptions, they're playing slapjack with the racism card. They can't slap that shit fast enough. But even if the people of Wuhan did actually think it was racist to call it the Wuhan virus, when your city creates a global catastrophe, you sort of have to take the L on that one. That's like if the Germans during the Holocaust were like, can you stop associating the Holocaust with Germany? We don't appreciate it, thanks. Meanwhile, the camps are being actively run and you can smell the burnt bodies from a mile away. We're still associating them with it 80 years later and we're not showing any signs of stopping. I'm not saying Wuhan is ground zero for some evil Chinese Holocaust, but you fucked up. Pandemics don't start unless somebody fucks up. Wuhan, your name is on the map in a negative connotation, and that ain't changing anytime soon. It's also got nothing to do with your ethnicity. If the virus started in Copenhagen, we'd call it the Copenhagen virus. If it started in London, we'd call it the London virus. And if it started in Antarctica, we'd call it the Arctic virus no matter what the penguins had to say about it. Sorry your habitat's melting, but unleashing sick hell was not an appropriate response. The World Health Organization, otherwise known as the WHO, rationalized that if Chinese people living in America feel stigmatized, it may discourage them from seeking treatment if they do carry the coronavirus. What a load! Yes, I am sure they will endure weeks of severe illness, possibly culminating in death, rather than go to a treatment center because there's a 1% chance some non-Chinese person will look at them funny while they're in there. This is what happens when you get high on your own supply of empathy. It clouds your stupid, caring mind, and all of a sudden, the people you're trying to protect seem utterly helpless and incapable of taking care of themselves unless you intervene on their behalf and feed them apples and pat them on the nose and say, shh, shh. God, it's patronizing. How can they not see it? I used to not see it. Glad that phase of my life is over and I can treat people like people instead of categories. But back to social distancing. Everyone in the world has made this joke, but I have been legitimately practicing social distancing for about 7 years now, so I'm pretty good at it. People have a lot more free time these days, and less options to spend it on. So welcome to YouTube, enjoy your extended stay, and for the record, my playlists are very bingeable. Social distancing means the dating scene is about to dwindle heavily. People aren't so keen on exchanging body fluids with strangers you met 2 hours ago for the time being. A condom might protect you from STDs, but unless you're kinky enough to get it on in a full hazmat suit with a hole in the crotch, you're not going to be protected enough. Ladies and germs used to be a pejorative, now it's just accurately identifying the situation, which means dudes and chicks across the globe have to reel in their sex drives and settle for just texting with the people they're still meeting on those apps. We've started a new pen pal era, and it's gonna last for months, so strap in and really get to know your partner. And if you're both really feeling frisky and you just can't help yourselves, there's no health risk in exchanging nudes. They said digital was the future, and they were right. Otherwise, look forward to a lot of fun trivia about her dog and some unfinished finished drawings that you're not supposed to judge but are totally judging. If there's one thing I want you to take away from all this, it's that it's of the absolute utmost importance that you like, share, and subscribe and follow me on Twitter. And consider becoming a channel member to support me financially on a month-to-month basis. Also, don't kill all the old people with your carelessness. I'll see you guys next time.